This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
And welcome to the GSMC Sports Podcast. This episode is brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network, and as always, I am your host, Jesse Tapia, and boy, oh boy, what a show we have for you today. All right, NFL free agency just seemingly went crazy and hasn't even started yet. Free agency starts tomorrow, which is the 14th. And, I mean, everyone is going everywhere. I mean, you got Danny Amendola going to the Dolphins. Usually don't see that either. Usually you see it the other way around. Players from the Dolphins will be heading over to the Patriots, but no, Amendola's coming to Miami. Let's see, you got Kirk Cousins. Looks like he's going to be headed to Minnesota. Drew Brees re-signs with New Orleans. There's just a lot going on right now. Let's see, what else we got going on? Case Keenum's in Denver. Allen Robinson to the Bears. I really like that move, so we're going to be talking a lot about free agency today. All right, that's only a part of the show. It's probably going to be like second, third segment, maybe split it up a bit. Second segment, we'll talk about the quarterbacks who went to certain teams. Third segment, maybe we'll talk NBA. And then fourth segment, we'll finish it off with some more free agency news because there's just so much going on right now. It's pretty much like the NBA offseason, right? The NBA offseason and free agency, mainly you got a bunch of players going certain ways, a bunch of big news and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's pretty much how the NFL offseason has gone. You got big trades with big players, all right? Like I said, just free agents going everywhere. So it's almost like Christmas Day pretty much, all right? For me at least. So, yeah, we'll be talking about that a lot. Like I said, we'll talk NBA, talk about the games from yesterday, and talk about the games going on tonight. And for the first segment, as we always do, all right, not going to change here. We're going to be doing the weekend recap. All right, so that's how the show's going to go. Just got a lot to unpack. As far as free agency goes, we're not going to be able to get to everything today, so we'll pretty much be doing it over the week, all right? But anyways, weekend recap, and we have a lot to talk about here also, okay? Turns out everyone in the NBA is hurt. Steph Curry's hurt. Cavs got a bunch of players hurt. Celtics got about 5 key players hurt. Everyone is injured, all right? We got Tiger Woods, who almost won his tournament. I think it was like a Valspar or something tournament. Almost won that. We're going to be talking about that. Richard Sherman, of course, is in San Francisco. Don't know how we didn't see that. That's also going to be something discussed in this first segment. And the Browns could possibly be a playoff team if they make the right moves in the draft. All right, yes, the Browns. All right, so that's how it's going to go. Let's start off with Tiger Woods. All right, let's start off with golf. We never start off the show with golf, so let's get it going there. All right, so Tiger Woods was in contention all weekend long, from Thursday to Sunday. All right. Paying attention to Twitter. Didn't get a chance to watch the tournament since I was working, but either way, I was paying attention to Twitter. And I mean, you had Sunday Tiger Woods wearing the red shirt, all that. People were going crazy for it. Tiger Woods, he's gonna win. Tiger's back. All right, it was just crazy to see. Like now, I'm starting to realize it's starting to happen once again. All right, Tiger Woods is probably the best thing that's ever happened to the game of golf. All right, and actually, no, not probably. He is. He's the best thing that ever happened to the game of golf. All right, you got all these other golfers out here. You got the Jason Days, Bubba Watsons, all those guys. It doesn't matter. They don't matter. It doesn't. All right, without Tiger, golf is just golf. No one cares. All right, with Tiger out there contending, possibly about to win a tournament, everyone is going crazy. Literally, people that don't even watch golf, I saw on Twitter, were tweeting about it, just going wild. All right, and that's what Tiger does. He brings ratings. I mean, I think it was up like. He went up to the 18th hole, down a stroke. Could have very well forced a playoff. Didn't get it going. Ended up finishing second in the tournament. But nonetheless, you got people saying, Tiger's back. Is he going to win a major? How many majors is he going to win? And I'm just like, wow, this is crazy or whatever. And as far as Tiger being back, I mean, are we jumping the gun here? Is Tiger back? All right. Is he possibly? I know he got the ratings up. I mean, everyone's. I'm not even sure. Like this wasn't even like a big tournament or anything like that. I think it's like this is the first time Tiger Woods has played in this tournament, I believe. All right, and I don't know. Tiger Woods maybe he is back because he has golfed pretty well since he's come back. I think he's played in 3 tournaments, this being the 3rd. All right, missed the cut once and the other one. Played pretty well. All right, not great, not as good as he did in this last one, but nonetheless, he played okay. Like, was in the hunt for the first 2 days, and then after that, pretty much fell off. But either way, I mean, Tiger Woods very well could be back. It could be happening. Is he going to win a Masters? I don't know. All right, is he going to win any other major tournaments? I don't know. But either way, with Tiger Woods being out there is good for golf. And like I said, free agency is going crazy. Just got to update my phone saying Jimmy Graham is going to the Green Bay Packers. All right. So that's another thing we're going to talk about. I mean, there's so much to talk about. Like I said, we're going to have to split it up. But either way, going back to Tiger Woods, it's good for golf. All right, had me interested in it. Maybe next time he's out there and contending, I'll switch the channel over. All right, that's what they need too. They need ratings. All right, TV ratings have been pretty low for every sport, every show going on. But you got Tiger Woods out there. I mean, everyone's excited about it. So Tiger Woods playing, doing well, good for America, good for golf. All right, so there's that. That happened over the weekend. Let's see what else we got going on. Like I said, Richard Sherman, now a San Francisco 49er. All right, and I was thinking he was probably going to end up in New England, but I don't know. I just wasn't thinking hard enough. All right, him in San Francisco seems like it makes all the sense in the world now. All right, from Palo Alto, at least he played football at Stanford, so he's back in the Bay Area. Bay Area is probably the best place to live in the world if you're rich, too. I mean, it's all around nice there. But either way, he's there. And turns out, yeah, there's that thing where he gets to play his former team 2 times a season, all right? And this is a good move for the 49ers, all right? This allows them to go out and get Quentin Nelson in the first round if he falls to them, or you get a Tremaine Edmonds or a Roquan Smith, all right? Richard Sherman gives them breathing room. I like it for San Francisco. I like the moves that they're making, all right? Especially, like I said, just getting Richard Sherman. That's a good move right there. And it's going to be interesting to see. This is going to be Richard Sherman's first year without the Seahawks. We're going to see how good of a I don't want to say how good of a corner he truly is because I don't want to discount what Richard Sherman has done, but we're going to see if he could sustain that same level with a new team coming off of an Achilles injury at the age of 30. All right? And there was a bunch of talk about how he got a bad deal from the Niners as far because he represented himself and didn't get the right deal or whatever. It seems pretty much Richard Sherman's betting on himself, and that's cool and all, but I mean, if an agent can get you more money than more guaranteed money, then have the agent get you more guaranteed money. All right, I don't like when these players are like, oh, I'm going to bet on myself and I'm going to prove it. Don't prove it to anyone. Go get paid. That's what it's all about. At least in that's what it's all about. Professional sports. Go get paid. All right, don't do this whole little story, this little redemption story. All right, 30 years old, off of an Achilles injury, betting on himself. All right, only what, $5 million guaranteed, something like that. I mean, get paid. Get the guaranteed money. That's what it's about in the NFL. All right, one more Achilles injury and he's out. So, I don't know. That's good. But either way, as far as a football fit goes, I like it for San Francisco. They needed cornerback help. This gives them that. Also gives them more flexibility in the draft to go out and do more as far as the first round goes. And, I don't know. As far as San Francisco and Seattle go, who is the better team right now? All right? Because San Francisco does San Francisco have the better defense? I think the defenses as of right now, meaning Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Bobby Wagner are still on that defense. All right. I think that they're about even right now. I think I'd still, I don't know. They're about even. Maybe San Francisco's a tiny bit better, but on the offensive side of the ball, Seattle has them beat. All right. Russell Wilson, better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. And that's not going to change unless Jimmy Garoppolo changes it. All right? That's cool. Jimmy Garoppolo won every game with the Niners last season. Does not touch Russell Wilson. And I'm not ready yet to put the 49ers over these Seahawks as far as the NFC West division goes. I'm not ready for that yet. I need to see what the 49ers are doing on offense because you know what? Offense it's not complete yet. You need a running back and you need a number 1 receiver. I understand that you got Marquise Goodwin, who I really like, and you got those other rookies from last season out there. You got Pierre Garçon coming back, but that's not really, that's not, I don't want to say it's not, it's not complete. That's all it is. It's not complete. All right. Allen Robinson's with the Bears now, so that's out of the picture. And I'm not really sure where San Francisco goes as far as number one receiver goes. Maybe you go, I think Christian Kirk out of Texas A&M is going to be available in the draft for them to get. And I don't even know if they can get him because he's probably going to go first round. You got Calvin Ridley who's going to be going first round. It's going to be interesting to see what San Francisco does as far as that running back or that wide receiver position goes. And even then at running back, what are they going to do? You're going to draft Darius Geis, I believe his name is, out of LSU in the second round possibly, maybe. But San Francisco's still got to fix up the offensive line a bit. And I say you need a running back, you need a receiver, and you need linebackers. All right, Reuben Foster, he's probably going to end up being suspended for a few games this season because that whole legal matter he's still in. So we still got to figure that out. So either way, though, they are taking the right step by bringing in Richard Sherman. It's going to be interesting to see pretty much how Richard Sherman does coming off of that injury. And it's going to be entertaining to see Seattle versus San Francisco play against each other. You could pencil that down as a Sunday night game too, probably maybe even a Monday night game. All right, one of them is going to be Sunday night or Monday night. So we'll see how that all goes. Let's see what else we got going on in the world of sports over the weekend. Oh yeah, Tyrod Taylor. I didn't even get a chance to talk about this because I was finishing up the show on Friday. He plays for the Browns now. All right, the Browns built themselves a pretty solid team. And before you say, oh, it's Tyrod Taylor, yeah, Tyrod Taylor took the Bills to the playoffs. All right. Yes, they have LaShawn McCoy, but other than that, I might be the best receiver on that team. All right. Devens played well, but nonetheless, Tyrod Taylor put some respect on him. All right. He's a good quarterback. Okay. Bills getting to the playoffs was not just because of LaShawn McCoy. And people were saying, like, the Browns, same old Browns, making the guy like Tyrod Taylor their quarterback. He's just a stopgap quarterback. He's going to be there to the rookie quarterback that they drafted this year, whether it be in the first or second round or third, it doesn't matter to me, is done developing, is ready to come out and play. All right, Tyrod Taylor is not the future quarterback for the Browns. That's not even a thought. All right, unless Tyrod Taylor comes out and has a career year and is one of like a top 10 quarterback in the league, he's not going to be the future quarterback for the Browns. He's just the guy that's going to be out there for this year. I think he only has like one more year left on his deal. So yeah, he's just a stopgap quarterback. But I like what the Browns are doing. You got Jarvis Landry, you got Josh Gordon. All right, you got David Njoku, you got Corey Coleman, you got Tyrod Taylor now. You got Randall from the Packers, who's probably going to be playing safety there. Still need some more cornerback help. And if they're smart and they want to have a chance at making the playoffs, you draft Saquon Barkley number 1. All right, there's no doubt about that. Like the Browns have a legitimate shot if they draft Barkley at number 1 to make playoffs. All right, the Ravens going down, Bengals bad, Steelers still top team in that division. All right, but the Browns are probably the second best team in that division with a Saquon Barkley. And I mean, the AFC is relatively pretty weak. All right, AFC East is the Patriots. You're still trying to figure out what the Dolphins, Bills, and Jets are doing. AFC North, like I said, Browns are the second best team there. The South, you got to get Deshaun Watson back healthy for the Texans. Not sure what's going on with Andrew Luck's shoulder. Jaguars, best team in that division, and the Titans are looking like they're making moves, but you're not really sure there. AFC West, you got Keenum in Denver. That's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out there. You got Demaryius Thomas coming back, so there's going to be some weapons for Keenum to throw to, so that's going to be a pretty decent team there. Chiefs, I mean, we can't make any judgments until we see Patrick Mahomes play for a certain amount of games. Chargers, going to win that division, I think, and the Raiders, no clue really about them, honestly, as a team. Not sure if they're going to be average, good, or just bad again. So, I mean, the Browns, they do have a shot at making the playoffs if they draft Barkley. They don't draft Barkley, I don't think they're a playoff team, playoff capable team, but if they do, there it is. All right, so that's that happened over the weekend. And let's see, what else? Am I missing anything else before I move on to the NBA? I don't think so. So let's move on to the NBA. You got Steph Curry out. You got Rodney Hood. You got, let's see, Tristan Thompson. Kevin Love has been out for the Celtics. You got Jaylen Brown. Horford's been sick. Kyrie's been dealing with a sore knee. Marcus Smart looks like he has torn tendons in his thumb. Might be out for the year. Daniel Tice tore his meniscus. He's out for the year. One of the best Celtics rookies this season for that team. And I think I'm missing one more player. I got Brown, Kyrie, Smart, and Tice. And I guess Shane Larkin. He's been on a minutes restriction. And before you say, oh, it's Shane Larkin. He's been pretty good for the Celtics this season. He's been producing for them. But either way, I mean, for the Warriors, Mr. Steph Curry lost 2 games over the weekend to the Trailblazers and Timberwolves. That team needs Curry, all right? Kevin Durant is not a leader. He's not. He's one of the best players in the league, probably the second best player in the league, but he's just not a leader. He's not an alpha. He's a beta. It is what it is, all right? That team needs a leader, and that team needs Steph Curry. Without him, they're at the Rockets level. With Curry, they're better than the Rockets, all right? And I'm going to keep hammering that home. The Rockets aren't better than the Warriors. I don't care if they're the number one seed in the West. That doesn't matter to me, all right? But either way, yeah, the Warriors need Steph Curry, all right? Kevin Durant, great player, but he just doesn't have it. Right? He doesn't have that ability to go out and lead a team. That's why when he was with Russell Westbrook, I mean, it was Westbrook's team. It wasn't KD's team. Westbrook was the alpha on the team. He's the one who took over. He's the one that pretty much asserted himself there. All right, Kevin Durant just doesn't have it, and that's fine. But either way, I mean, you'd expect the Warriors to be a little bit better without Stephen Curry. All right, now I'm not saying like play better, but and I understand it's only 2 games that they lost, but I mean, you got to be, I don't know. Losing 2 games without Steph Curry, you got Kevin Durant saying it is weird without him not being there. I mean, you're one of the best players in the league. You got Klay Thompson, one of the best shooters of all time. You got Draymond Green, pretty much like a Swiss Army knife out there. You should be winning games, all right? Losing 2 games without Steph, and again, it's just 2 games, so I guess I'm maybe overblowing it a bit, but either way, it should be better. As far as the Cavs go, I don't like the Cavs, really, as far as their chances in the East. I really don't. The Raptors right now are probably the team to beat. The Raptors are the team to beat in that conference right now. The Celtics, like I said, they're injured right now. We'll talk about them in a few moments. But the Cavs, they don't play defense. All right, people are saying wait till Kevin Love comes back. How is that going to fix the defense? All right, Tristan Thompson, soft. All right, he's been soft all year. All right, Rodney Hood, nice player, role player off the bench. That's going to help. But overall, the Cavs just don't play defense. If you don't play defense, you're not going to win games. You're not going to win playoff series either. So I just don't like the Cavs coming out of the East at all. I mean, I think it goes the Raptors in the first tier, Celtics in the second tier, and then the Cavs are pretty much mixed in with the Pacers, the Wizards, and the Sixers, teams like that. All right, the Cavs are only 3-4 games up on the Bucks for the 8th seed. Cavs lose 2 games, Sixers win 2 games. I think the Sixers take over that spot. All right, so the Cavs really just don't like what they're doing right now. And as far as the Celtics go, they're a year away. They're Gordon Hayward away from being the best team in the East, I think. Plus, you got all these injuries. You got Smart, who might be out for the year. Tice is definitely out for the year with his meniscus tear. Kyrie's dealing with that knee injury still, that knee soreness. And I think that dates back to when he broke his kneecap against the Warriors in that first final series. All right, he's gonna have to get surgery for it and get that all fixed up. But I mean, Celtics, they're just a year away. They do have a chance making it out the East if Toronto turns into Toronto and just pretty much chokes in the playoffs. And I do think they can get past Cleveland and all those other teams, but I don't know, it's just not looking good for them right now. So I mean, there's just a bunch of injuries going on with the top teams in the league. James Harden had a bit of knee soreness, I believe it was, but he's back with the Rockets. Played last night against the Spurs. Yeah, against the Spurs, I believe it was. So we'll be talking about that later. But either way, I mean, that's pretty much all that happened over the weekend, all I wanted to talk about. So that's going to wrap it up for this segment. Next up, we're going to be talking about the quarterbacks, new teams. So we'll be doing that. Third segment, we'll probably talk NBA. And fourth segment, we'll be talking more football. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines. They got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
And welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. In that first segment, we spent it just doing the weekend recap. We talked about Tiger, is he back? Possibly had Twitter on fire, and pretty much had that tournament on fire. Came close to at least taking the lead, or at least being tied for the lead. All right, you got Sunday, Tiger Woods out there in the red shirt, classic. Either way, it's good for golf that he was out there playing well. We talked about the injuries in the NBA, talked about Richard Sherman going to the 49ers, and we talked about the moves the Cleveland Browns are making, all right? So that's all that pretty much happened over the weekend. Now we're going to be talking about the quarterbacks who have gone to different teams, all right? Well, at least it hasn't officially happened. I mean, deals could fall through and all that. Looking like, though, Kirk Cousins, all right, let's go, run through. We got Kirk Cousins, looks like he's going to end up in Minnesota, Bradford in Arizona, Keenum in Denver, and that leaves the Jets and Bills, if I'm not mistaken. All right, the Jets, I'm kind of confused as to what the Jets got going on. All right, because earlier today, which is Tuesday the 13th, all right, earlier today, it was looking like the Jets were going to be signing Teddy Bridgewater. All right, I was thinking, you know what? Yeah, you signed Teddy, draft a quarterback in the first round, have him compete. Teddy probably ends up winning that battle, and you have Teddy play till the quarterback is ready to develop. So that's what I was thinking, okay? But literally right before I started this segment, which is, I don't even need to get out time. Right before I started out this segment, all right, the Jets signed Josh McCown to a 1-year deal, all right? that really confused me. If I'm the Jets and I sign Josh McCown to a one-year deal, does that mean that the whole deal with Teddy Bridgewater that was supposed to happen, I guess, fell through? Or are they going to sign Teddy and have him compete with Josh McCown for the starting job, which would make no sense either way there? Or are they going to sign Josh McCown, sign Teddy, and draft a quarterback in the first round? All right. I have no clue what the Jets are doing. If anything, they've been the biggest losers of free agency so far. All right. Absolutely no clue. Missed out on Cousins. All right. Looked like they were going to get Teddy Bridgewater. Now they sign McCown for a one-year deal, bringing him back. Like, what is the plan there? Like if I'm the Jets, if I'm bringing back McCown, there's no reason to bring in Teddy Bridgewater at all. All right. Teddy Bridgewater is an okay quarter. I don't know. Like, what is Teddy Bridgewater? What is his value exactly? All right. What do we think about Teddy Bridgewater? Guy played two seasons, I believe. Got hurt in training camp in his third, I believe it was. And, I mean, showed upside, but now it's pretty much who wants him? Who wants Teddy Bridgewater or A.J. McCarron, right? The Bills are still without a quarterback, a veteran quarterback. They're probably going to be signing a Teddy B or McCarron, but I have no clue what they're doing. It's just, I don't know. This whole thing is just a cluster. All right, it's all over the place. But as far as what the Jets are doing, I mean, this is classic New York. All right, no real plan. It's looking like. All right, maybe their plan the whole time was to go out and sign Bridgewater, but that didn't work out. And now you got McCown. If I'm the Jets, I'm just signing McCown. I'm taking the best available quarterback at number 6. That's it. Just do that, right? I'm not even sure if they had a backup plan to Kirk Cousins is what I was trying to say. But if you're re-signing McCown, don't bring in Bridgewater. Draft a quarterback. Have McCown play another year until he stinks it up or just finishes out this contract, and then have the other quarterback come in next year, all right? But there's really no point to go out and bring in Teddy Bridgewater and McCown. That would just make no sense whatsoever there. So, I don't know. I just have no clue what the Jets are currently doing, but it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out for them. So, I guess it just remains to be seen what they got going on. But it's just, like I said, New York, it's all confusing out there. But, I mean, now we pretty much know where Kirk Cousins is going, and I called it. All right, I'm going to toot my own horn. I did call Kirk Cousins to Minnesota. I called that on the GSMC football podcast. Go ahead and check that one out too. That one actually should be coming out today also. So if you want to hear just pretty much total NFL news, go ahead and check that one out. But either way, a couple weeks ago when I saw that the Vikings weren't going to be franchising Teddy Bridgewater or Keenum, I was like, you know what? Cousins is going there. If I was Minnesota, I'm only franchising them if I don't think I have a real shot at Cousins, and if I'm not franchising them, then I think I have a real shot at Cousins. And sure enough, Cousins looks like he's going to be headed to Minnesota. Looks like he's going to be getting 3 years, $84 million guaranteed. All right, and this is the beginning of something new, I believe. All right, Cousins getting guaranteed money, and again, I'm going to continue to ask this question: why Kirk Cousins? Why is Kirk Cousins the first guy ever in the NFL to get a fully guaranteed contract? I don't get it. All right. Where did this come from? I do like Kirk Cousins as a quarterback. Don't think he's great by any means. Don't even think he's a superstar quarterback or anything like that. I think he's a good quarterback, but why? Like, where did this value come from? Where did the whole Kirk Cousins deserves to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, deserves to get the most guaranteed money, deserves to get a fully guaranteed contract? Where did that come from? I have no clue whatsoever. It just happened out of the nowhere, I feel. All right, but either way, Kirk, fully guaranteed deal. It looks like he's going to be ending up with the Vikings. And, I mean, I like the move for the Vikings, all right? I like Kirk better than Keenum. I do, all right? Keenum, he did have a great year, and I did think at one point, what's the difference between Keenum and Cousins? But I figured, you know what? Keenum had one solid season. Cousins has been doing it has had 4 solid seasons, all right? Talking about the last 4 years. So I guess that's where you take a Cousins guy, all right? Because he's been more consistent. And if you're comparing Keenum to Cousins this past season, they pretty much had the same numbers. Keenum's season was a little bit better, but Keenum by far had the better supporting cast. You got Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, all right, solid running back duo, and you got Kyle Rudolph. Cousins in Washington had Ryan Grant, okay, Jamison Crowder, all right, Josh Dotson, rookie, 3 different running backs, I feel. And then you had Jordan Reed, who, I mean, is about as healthy as a Sam Bradford, and Sam Bradford never plays. You had Vernon Davis, who was never just really been the same player, as I always like to say, since Cam Chancellor lit him up. All right? Cousins really wasn't working with much at all. All right? But nonetheless, he put up numbers. And I think with Minnesota, it's a possible Super Bowl contender there. All right? They made it to the NFC Championship with Case Keenum. Like I said, I'll take Cousins over Keenum. So I like what they're doing. All right? It makes sense. I'm glad Minnesota went out and got Cousins. Mike Zimmer said, if we don't get this quarterback thing right, I'm probably going to get fired. So why not go get the best free agent quarterback out there? Because you're not going to be able to draft one. What are they picking? Like 27, 28, somewhere around there? Yeah, you're not getting a quarterback there. Why not go out and get the sure thing? All right, and this works out well for Cousins. He's only 30, 32, 33, somewhere around there? I think 30, I think. All right, Cousins has 3 years on his deal. He does well with Minnesota. Boom, you get another deal worth a bunch of money. All right, Cousins could very well end up being the highest, the guy who made the most money ever in the NFL. All right, because like I said, no one's ever gotten a fully guaranteed contract. No one's even gotten $84 million guaranteed. All right, so at least I don't think. I could be wrong. Stafford's got some absurd guaranteed money deal that he's got with the Detroit Lions, plus incentives and all that. But I mean, as far as Cousins goes, he made out. He's rich. All right. I mean, imagine getting franchise making $27-30 million with the Redskins for 2 years. Now you're making $84 million with the Vikings. Cousins could have the worst possible year of any quarterback, and he's still getting paid. All right, just ridiculous. Lucky for him, though. Either way, like I said, Minnesota, that's a contender right there. All right, that's a team who might be better than the Rams. I think I might take Minnesota over the Rams. I'll take them over the Saints. And as far as them and Philly go, Philly's the reigning Super Bowl champ, so I'm not ready to do that yet. All right, but either way, Minnesota is in a solid position to succeed. All right, so yeah, Kirk Cousins looks like he's going to be ending up in Minnesota. You got Keenum. Speaking of him, going to be ending up in Denver, and I don't think Denver drafts a quarterback in the first round. All right, I think John Elway finally realized, you know what? I'm pretty bad at this whole scouting quarterbacks type thing and drafting quarterbacks, so why don't I go out and get the guy who played well for a season? All right, and I like it. I think Keenum is like a Nick Foles, all right? And bear with me for a second. I'm saying Keenum is like a Nick Foles because they'll play well when they have talent around them. They'll play poorly when they have no talent around them, all right? They're not going to go out and make their players better. They're not going to make the offense better. They're going to play up to the talent you got there. And Denver's got talent. Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, all right? You got solid running backs. Probably going to cut C.J. Anderson, but either way, they're going to be picking up a running back. And, I mean, I like Keenum. I think he's going to play well. Plus, he's got a defense that where if Keenum doesn't play, Keenum kind of struggles a bit, you got a defense who's going to pick it up a bit. And as far as the defense goes, yeah, I know they didn't play that well this past season, but it's going to be an upgrade. All right, they're going to be playing better this season. Keenum's not as bad as Osweiler, not as bad as Lynch, and he's not as bad as Simeon. He's 10 times better than those guys. All right, so I mean, as far as Keenum goes, he doesn't have to go out and win games on his own. Go out. Don't stress. Play well. Defense is going to take care of things. So I like what Denver's doing. And as of right now, Denver is the second best team in that division. All right. I'm still not putting Denver with Keenum over San Diego. I think San Diego's making the playoffs this year. San Diego's got a solid squad out there. You got Rivers, you got Gordon, you got Williams, you got Allen, you got Hunter Henry. Solid offensive line and a really solid defense. All right. LA might make some noise this year. And that's still weird to think about that the Chargers play in LA. But either way, yeah, the Broncos are now the second best team in the division. And I'm sure they got to be pretty happy with what they ended up with. I mean, I'm sure they wanted Kirk Cousins at first, but it just really didn't play out the way they expected it to. And I guess it didn't really play out the way many of us expected it to, except for me, because like I said, I picked Minnesota to have Cousins go there. But either way, I mean, Keenum is a nice little solid addition to that team. And then you got good old Sam Bradford, all right? Now with looks like he's going to be playing for Arizona this season. And this is the perfect quarterback for Arizona, but the biggest problem is Sam Bradford cannot stay healthy, and I don't know how. All right, the guy barely plays, but he keeps getting paid. All right, I think he was making 15, 18 mil with the Vikings a year. Now he's going to make 20 million with the Cardinals for this year, and he also has there's a team option for the second year. All right, Sam Bradford is Professor Finesser, okay? The guy has just somehow finessed his way to getting paid without playing meaningful NFL time. All right, the dude has just never been healthy, but for some reason, these teams want to continue to keep giving him money. And you know what? Sam Bradford, when he's out there and healthy, is a pretty decent quarterback. All right, he fits this Arizona Cardinals offense. You got David Johnson, where that's the star of the offense there, and you got a solid top receiver in Larry Fitzgerald. All right, yes, top receiver Larry Fitzgerald. The dude has been pretty much hasn't taken a step back since he's been in the NFL, all right? The whole Larry Fitzgerald is old, that's just a myth. He's old, yeah, but his play, it's not going down, all right? Larry Fitzgerald's still a solid receiver in this league. So, I mean, there's a whole bunch going on. Like I said, I mean, Buffalo still needs their quarterback. They'll probably end up with a McCarron or Teddy Bridgewater by the end of the day, unless the Jets end up going Bridgewater-McCown, which would make no sense. So there's still a whole lot more going on. I mean, we're going to talk more about free agency tomorrow, so this is just the beginning of it. But that's going to wrap it up for this segment. Next up, we're going to switch over to the NBA bit, and then for the fourth segment, we're going to talk about the Bears. We're going to talk about the Packers a bit too. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA, from the UFC to extreme cage fighting. They got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
To the GSMC Sports Podcast. So far today, we've talked about pretty much what happened over the weekend. Talked about Tiger, the NBA. Talked about the Browns and the 49ers. Last segment, we talked about the quarterbacks all going to different teams. Talked about how I really have no clue what the Jets are doing. Looking like they're bringing back Josh McCown for another year. Hopefully that just means that they're drafting a quarterback in the first round rather than bringing him and Teddy Bridgewater. And that's one thing, too. It looked like earlier today the Jets were going to be signing Teddy Bridgewater, but maybe that just fell through. So now it's looking like the Bills are just the only team without a veteran quarterback. All right, so got to figure out and see what they got going on. But for this segment, we're going to be talking NBA. I know usually for the fourth segment we make my picks for the night's NBA games there, but we're going to be talking more football then. So we're going to do that in this segment, pretty much make this just a full entire NBA segment. So let's get into it. First game up, we had the San Antonio Spurs facing off with the Houston Rockets, and Rockets had no trouble in this one. They won this game 109-93. Spurs were without LaMarcus Aldridge, have been without Kawhi Leonard for a while. He's not going to be coming back on Thursday, still trying to fix up that quad injury. So, I mean, I don't know when Kawhi's coming back. So it's just a matter of he'll be back when he's back. All right, so that's all we'll be saying about that. But as far as it all goes, Houston won this one 109-93. For the Spurs, you had Rudy Gay with 13 points, 5 rebounds, 6 of 15 shooting, and this one had to start. Kyle Anderson had 6 points. Pau Gasol, 4 points, 4 rebounds. Patty Mills only played 9 minutes in this one, had 3 points. Dejounte Murray, only 7 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Just terrible from the starting 5 with the Spurs in this game. Off the bench, you had Tony Parker with 12 points, 3 assists, shot 5 of 6. Brian Forbes had 14 points there. 3 assists, 2 rebounds, shot 4 of 8, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. Just an overall just terrible game from the Spurs. Just couldn't get anything going. Just pretty much just terrible. Awful. For the Rockets, you had Trevor Ariza. He had 15 points, 5 rebounds, shot 5 of 9, 3 of 7 from the three-point line. PJ Tucker had 5 points, 7 rebounds. Clint Capella, 13 points, 9 rebounds. Chris Paul had 18 points, 9 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 8 of 11, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. James Harden, he had 28 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, shot 6 of 17, 2 of 11 from the three-point line. Let's see, off the bench, you had Gerald Green with 14 points, 9 rebounds, shot 5 of 14, 4 of 11 from the three-point line. And then Joe Johnson put up the goose egg, all right? 0 points, shot 0 of 3, 0 of 1 from the three-point line, 4 rebounds, or actually 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and played 26 minutes in this one. Just overall, the whole Joe Johnson thing just hasn't worked out so far in Houston. Maybe it's just a matter of Houston just wanted him as a veteran presence, pretty much that guy in the locker room, or it's just maybe they thought he'd be better. But either way, Joe Johnson just really hasn't been playing well since he's gotten to Houston. And would you look at that? The Spurs have fallen out of the playoff picture, all right? On the outside looking in. Now it's the Clippers and Jazz who are the 7A seeds. They're all 16 games back. Clippers have a better winning percentage than those 3 teams, so that's why you got Utah in 8th spot. But, I mean, the Spurs, they need Kawhi back desperately, all right? And if Kawhi didn't come back, they're not making the playoffs. And I know the Spurs have been injured for most of the year, but nonetheless, I mean, this team just looks lost. All right, looking like Greg Popovich finally might miss out on the playoffs, and this could be the end of the whole Spurs. I'd want to call it dynasty. Yeah, I don't know. What would you call what the Spurs have done since '96? I've won 5 titles. But it's not like they had like a stranglehold on the league or anything like that. Like how like in the NFL, how the Patriots pretty much just dominated year after year in that league. So the Spurs, I mean, either way, it's looking like they're just now becoming just another team in the league. All right, but as for the next game, we had the Milwaukee Bucks facing off with the Memphis Grizzlies. Milwaukee won this one, 121-103. From Milwaukee, you had Giannis Antetokounmpo with 20 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 7 of 13 there. Chris Middleton had 24 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, nearly the same identical stat line, shot 9 of 14. John Henson had 11.7 rebounds. Eric Bledsoe, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 6 of 13, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. Jabari Parker played 21 minutes in this one, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 3 of 6 in that one. And look who's back, all right? Brandon Jennings played 24 minutes for the Bucks, shot 5 of 9, 3 of 6 from the three-point line, 16 points, 12 assists, 8 rebounds. All right. I think Brandon Jennings has a 10-day contract with the Bucks. That's going to get re-upped. Don't worry. He's going to finish out the season with the Bucks. The dude comes back playing in China, comes back first game with the Bucks and nearly has a triple-double. Brandon Jennings, I feel like it's never been a question of his talent. It's just a question of his head. Where's his head at? All right. Is he engaged or is he not? And I think if Brandon Jennings is truly trying to make this NBA comeback a real thing, he can do it. It's just a matter of him keeping his focus. So I was just real surprised to see that Brandon Jennings put that up. I was surprised to see Brandon Jennings was even in the league. Did not, I might have missed it or I just forgot about it, but did not realize Brandon Jennings was back with the Bucks. But either way, here he is, 16 points, 12 assists, 8 rebounds. Dude was on fire yesterday. They played 24 minutes. Like I said, he just played extremely well. So, I mean, that's going to be big for Milwaukee going into the playoffs, honestly. If Brandon Jennings can pretty much play at his ability, that's just another solid addition there. So hopefully he can. Either way, though, for Memphis, you had JaMychal Green with 11 points, 7 rebounds, shot 4 of 8 there. Dillon Brooks had 16 points, 7 of 13 shooting, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. Marc Gasol had 17 points, 7 rebounds, shot 8 of 17. Off the bench, you had Chandler Parsons, who finally played, I guess. Shot 1 of 4. All of those came from the three-point line, 3 points there. Ben McLemore had 16 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 6 of 9, and 3 of 4 from the three-point line. Once again, Milwaukee won that one, 121-103. And like I said, for Milwaukee, it's going to be huge if Brandon Jennings just puts up these performances, just solid performances going forward. As for the next game, we had the Sacramento Kings facing off with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Thunder did what they should have. They won 106-101. For the Kings, you had Zach Randolph, not the best night from him. 10 points, 5 rebounds, shot 5 of 18, 0 of 4 from the three-point line. Justin Jackson's been playing well for the last couple of weeks. 15 points, 2 rebounds, shot 6 of 10, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. Costa Koufos had 6 points, 10 rebounds. De'Aaron Fox played all right. Double-double, 11 points, 10 assists, shot 4 of 12, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. Bogdan Bogdanovic had 19 points, 8 rebounds, shot 6 of 11, 3 of 7 from the three-point line. Garrett Temple, he had 15 points, 7 rebounds, shot 5 of 9, 3 of 5 from the three-point line. And then you had, like I said, Buddy Hield, one of the more inconsistent players on the Kings. Only 3 points in this one, 1 rebound, 1 of 6 shooting, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. Willie Cauley-Stein had 9 points, 7 rebounds. And then, let's see, you had Frank Mason with 8 points in this one. As for the Thunder, you had Carmelo Anthony with 21 points, 6 rebounds, shot 7 of 14, 5 of 7 from the three-point line. Corey Brewer had 16 points, 6 rebounds, shot 4 of 8. Paul George, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 7 of 18, 4 of 9 from the three-point line. Steven Adams, only 6 points, 6 rebounds. And then you had Russell Westbrook with a triple-double in this one. 17 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds, shot 7 of 19, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. Like I said, I mean, Thunder just pretty much did what they were supposed to, and they pretty much have played themselves back into the top 4 of the West. Now the 4th seed in the West, I mean, 2 games behind the Trailblazers. The West is just a crazy thing. I mean, a couple of losses here, a couple of wins there, and 3 through 8 is all shaken up. All right, you can be in the you can be the number 4 seed in the West one day and be outside of the top 8 the next day. It's just crazy how it's all played out. It's going to be interesting to see who ends up making it and who ends up missing out. I think the Thunder, they're going to be making it. Pelicans, Trailblazers, Minnesota. It's really going to come down to those last 4 teams. The Clippers, the Jazz, Nuggets, and Spurs for those last 2 spots, I feel. But other than that, I think the rest of the 6 teams in that, obviously the rest of the 6 teams in that conference are safe. But either way, like I said, the Thunder won that one 106-101. And as for the final game of the night, you had the Miami Heat facing off with the Portland Trail Blazers, and I believe the Trail Blazers made it 10 in a row. They won 115-99, all right? For Miami, you had James Johnson with 8 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 3 of 5 there. Bam Adebayo got the start in this one for Hassan Whiteside, who was out with a left hip injury, didn't play well at all. 1 of 10 shooting, 4 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Goran Dragic had 23 points, only 2 assists in this one, shot 10 of 17 in that one. Tyler Johnson had 17 points, shot 6 of 15, 4 of 7 from the three-point line. And then off the bench, you had Kelly Olynyk with 9 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, shot 3 of 7. Justice Winslow had 15 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 6 of 11. Wayne Ellington had 11 points, shot 3 of 10 from the three-point line. And then Rodney McGruder had 8 points, 3 rebounds, 4 of 8 shooting this one. No Dwayne Wade for the Heat. As for the Trailblazers, you had Joseph Nurkic with 27 points, 16 rebounds, 12 of 18 shooting. Damian Lillard had 32 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, shot 8 of 19, 7 of 14 from the three-point line. CJ McCollum had 17 points, 5 assists, shot 5 of 11 there. And then off the bench, you had Evan Turner with 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 5 of 11, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. And the rookie Zach Collins had 10 points, 4 rebounds. Once again, the Portland Trail Blazers won that one, 115-99. All right, so that's how the games yesterday went. Let's make my picks for tonight's games. We got a whole bunch going on tonight. A bunch of good ones, too. First up, we got the Pacers facing off with the Philadelphia 76ers. Philly's playing at home. They are a 20-10 team at home. The Pacers are 16-16 on the road. This is a tough one here. Both teams playing extremely well. I mean, this could mean something as far as the seeding goes in the East. I'm going to go with the Pacers, all right? I think they're the better team right now, and they've been playing the better basketball, so I'm going to go with Indiana, all right? Philly's favored by 6 in that one also. Then we got the Timberwolves facing off with the Wizards. I'm going with the Wizards. Timberwolves are a poor road team, really just, they're okay, I guess, against they're not, I don't know. The Timberwolves are just a weird team right now, all right? But either way, Wizards been playing well, 19-14 at home, so I got the Wizards winning this one. Then we got the Thunder facing off with the Hawks. This is a pretty easy game to pick here. I got the Thunder, unless somehow they let me down, but doubt they will. Then we got the Raptors facing off with the Nets. Raptors by far the best team in the East right now. Nets not a good basketball team at all. 12-22 at home. Raptors 21-12 on the road. I'm going with the Raptors easily in this one. Then we got the Mavericks facing off with the Knicks. Dallas is actually favored in this one, and they're the road team. They're 7-24 on the road. Knicks are 16-15 at home. So obviously, I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna go with the Mavericks. This is tough. Both teams are trying to tank. Both teams are just really bad as it is. I'm going to go with New York. Think they're going to be able to pull it out. So, yeah, I got New York winning this one. But it's going to be an ugly game. Do not watch it. Then we got the Clippers facing off with the Bulls. Easy pick here. I got the Clippers winning this one. All right. Bulls got some solid young players, but still trying to tank. So, I got the Clippers winning this one. Then we got the Hornets facing off with the Pelicans. Pretty easy pick right here. I got the Pelicans winning this one, 17-14 at home. Hornets 10-21 on the road. Pelicans favored in this one also. Anthony Davis has been on a tear lately, so I'm going with the Pelicans like I said. Then we got the Magic facing off with the Spurs. Spurs are a good home team. Magic bad road team. Spurs though just haven't been playing well, but I think I gotta go with them. I think LaMarcus Aldridge might be playing in this game. But either way, I don't know. Yeah, I think he's going to be playing, so I'm going to go with the Spurs in this one. Yeah, I got the Spurs beating the Magic. Then we got the Pistons facing off with the Utah Jazz in Utah. Pistons, terrible road team. Jazz, great home team. Jazz, she's better team as it is. I'm going with the Jazz. Really no reason to pick against them in this one. All right. Then we got the Cavs facing off with the Suns. All right. Cavs should win this one. Shouldn't have any doubts. Do have a couple, but I'm going to go with the Cavs. They should beat the Suns pretty easily. And then we got the Nuggets facing off with the Lakers. That's going to be a fun game right there. All right. Lakers and Nuggets starting to develop a little bit of a tiny rivalry, I guess you could say. I mean, you got Jamal Murray, who Luke Walton has really had an issue with him the last 2 games. I think one game you had Jamal Murray dribbling around Alonzo at the end of the game, and I can't remember exactly what Jamal Murray did in the last one. But either way, a little bit of a rivalry brewing here, all right? Lakers a little bit frustrated. Nuggets 11-20 on the road. Lakers 17-15 at home. I got to go with Denver in this one. They've had the Lakers number this season. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Denver. I think they're going to be able to pull it out. Let me recap my picks real quick. All right. I got the Pacers beating the Sixers. That's an upset pick there. We got the Wizards beating the Timberwolves. Thunder beating the Hawks. Raptors beating the Nets. Knicks beating the Mavericks. Another upset pick. Clippers beating the Bulls, the Pelicans beating the Hornets, Spurs beating the Magic, Jazz beating the Pistons, Cavs beating the Suns, and the Nuggets beating the Lakers. So 2 upset picks for tonight. Those are how I think the games are going to go, so hopefully I'm right about them all. If I am, I'll be bragging about it tomorrow. But either way, that's going to wrap it up for this segment. Next up, we're going to talk more NFL free agency. Going to talk Bears, going to talk Packers, and anything else that's notable. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for help for your fantasy football team? Check out the GSMC Fantasy Football Podcast. Get today's best advice on who to start, who to sit, even who you should draft. From sleeper picks to red-hot lineups, they got it all covered for you. That's gsmcpodcast.com/fantasy-football-podcast. We'll cover traditional leagues, dynasty, PPR, even IDP leagues. When you need fantasy help, there's just one show to hit up. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
GSMC Sports Podcast. So far today, what have we talked about? What recaps for this weekend in sports? We talked about all the quarterbacks going to different teams. Talked about what in the world the Jets are doing. I have no clue. All right, let's see what else we talk about. We talked about the NBA for the third segment, and for this segment, we're going to talk some NFC North. All right. I've been on this Bears bandwagon. Okay, I've been pushing the whole bandwagon since the middle of last season. I like the Bears, all right? Not like as a favorite team, but I like what they're doing. I think they're going to be a team that's competing for the wild card next season, believe it or not. Probably not going to end up making it. They'll probably be, and competing means they'll be in the hunt. They'll be like an 8-win, 7-win team, all right, up in there towards like the last couple of weeks of the season. They'll be fighting for a spot, but either way, I think they're going to be a whole lot better than what they were, all right? I like the head coaching hire, like the offensive coordinator hire, like the offensive lineman hire, like the quarterback, all right? Think he can make great throws. I like Mitch Trubisky. Think he's the second best quarterback out of last season's draft. Obviously, my number one will be Deshaun Watson. All right, I really like Mitch. So, you got him there. You got Jordan Howard, top 10 running back. Could argue maybe top 7, top 8. All right, you got Tariq Cohen, a nice little playmaker out there. And now you have Allen Robinson. That was a huge get for the Bears. Now you can go out and you can draft Quentin Nelson at that number 8 spot. All right, because let's see, how do I think the draft is going to go? We got number 1, we got the Browns. I think they're taking Barkley. All right, 2, you got the Giants. Actually, you know what? I have the Giants might very well take Nelson. All right, the draft is kind of weird, just now how free agency has gone about. All right, plus with the Browns getting Tyrod and all those guys there, I mean, do they draft a quarterback at number 4? I'm not sure. Truly not sure. All right, but either way, going back to the Bears, I like what they're doing. I think this is going to be a good team. All right, I really, really, really like Trubisky. I really, really like the fact that they got Robinson. And you know what? They got Trey Burton, the guy who threw the touchdown pass to Nick Foles in the Super Bowl. And he's supposed to be an up-and-coming tight end. All right, really just never really got his shot with Philadelphia because of the fact that he was playing behind Zach Ertz and Brent Selleck. All right, but Trey Burton's supposed to be a good tight end. Got a 4-year, $32 million deal from the Bears. Robinson, I think, got like 45, 48 mil. So, I mean, it's going to be real interesting to see what the Bears got going on, but I like it. All right, they're going to be a tough team to beat in that NFC North. And the NFC North as a whole is going to be probably one of the better divisions in all of football. All right, because you got the Vikings who just got Kirk Cousins. You got the Lions who pretty much are a coach away from being a playoff team, a solid coach, and maybe Matt Patricia could finally be that. You got the Packers who, turns out, they got Jimmy Graham, and they cut Jordy Nelson, and I'm all for the Packers cutting Jordy Nelson. I've been saying, cut Jordy. Not recently, but towards the end of the season, I was saying it. I think Jordy Nelson will not think he is past his prime, and I don't think he has really too much to offer. All right, so there's that going on, but as far as the Bears go, I mean, that's going to be a solid team. All right, and I think the Bears and Browns are going to be the two teams that take the biggest steps up as far as their rebuild goes. So it's going to be interesting to see what they got going on. But as far as it all goes down, I mean, the Bears, I think they're pretty much done in free agency, and they got a solid defense too. They got a defense who can cause turnovers, pretty young still, so they got to develop a little bit more. But either way, defense is looking nice, offense is looking nice, and I still think that, oh yeah, they signed Taylor Gabriel too to a 4-year deal. That's huge right there too. Actually, the Chicago Bears might have a real great offense. Like, maybe one of the best offenses in the league, dare I say it. All right, because look at it this way. You got Mitch at quarterback. You got Cohen and Howard at running back. You could put Cohen pretty much wherever you want on the offensive side of the field. All right, you got Allen Robinson. You got Taylor Gabriel, who I think the Bears, they're more so going to be playing like a spread college-style type offense. That's why you bring in a Mark Helfrich to be your offensive coordinator. All right, plus with how Matt Nagy was calling the plays in Kansas City got so much better once he started calling the plays. All right. The Bears, that might be a hot take there, my little bold prediction. Bears are going to have possibly a top 5 offense in the league next season. All right. You can tell the way they're starting to bring players in. All right. Taylor Gabriel, all right, Allen Robinson, Burton, then you got Cohen back there and Howard. They're going to have a real solid offense. All right. So, I mean, I really like what the Bears are doing right now. But as far as Green Bay, they brought in Jimmy Graham. They cut Jordy Nelson. I'm kind of iffy on Jimmy Graham. All right. Jimmy Graham, yeah, was great with the Saints. No doubt. With the Seahawks, if anything, the quarterback didn't get worse. You might even upgrade it. All right. Russell Wilson is a great quarterback, but Jimmy Graham just really never truly found his footing there. I'm kind of tight ends, once they reach a certain age, kind of just never get good again. All right. Julius Thomas played well, goes to Jacksonville. Was really nothing. All right. Jimmy Graham was great with the Saints. The Seahawks was just really nothing. All right. It was all right. Why should I expect him to be different with the Packers? Is it because of the fact that Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback? Or is it just because I think maybe Jimmy Graham could do better? All right. They brought in Jared Cook a year ago. Supposed to be the guy there. Didn't work out. All right. Really haven't had a solid tight end since Jermichael Finley left. All right. And I just don't see it really working out too well with Jimmy Graham. I just don't. All right. I think he just might be past his prime and he's very injury prone. So I don't know. I'm kind of eerie on Jimmy Graham with the Packers. All right. If it was up to me, like say a fantasy football draft or whatever, like as far as like putting up big stats like the old Jimmy Graham, I don't think that's going to happen. All right. I wouldn't draft him on my fantasy team or anything like that. I don't trust Jimmy Graham. And with Aaron Rodgers, I mean, you got Devontae Adams, you got Randall Cobb. Maybe, yeah, you fight Jimmy Graham's going to get some more targets. But, I mean, he struggled to find targets on a team in Seattle where you had Doug Baldwin as your number one receiver, who is. After that, what did you really have? All right? I don't trust the old tight end. I just don't trust it at all. Okay, so I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it all ends up. Jimmy Graham got a 3-year deal. I thought he was going to end up in New Orleans, but sure enough, I mean, here he is in Green Bay, and because of it, Jordy Nelson's gone. And like, where does Jordy Nelson end up? I don't think there's really much of a market for Jordy Nelson. All right, Jordy Nelson is an old man in the league. He's not what he once was. All right, even when Rodgers came back for that game, I mean, Nelson really didn't do much, and really didn't do much with Brett Hundley out there. And I understand it's Brett Hundley, but nonetheless, Nelson wasn't really doing any favors, getting open or anything like that. And really, who else needs a receiver in the league right now? Miami's got Amendola and Wilson, and we'll probably talk about that more tomorrow. You get the Ravens who are looking like they're going to be signing John Brown. Maybe Nelson could fit in there. All right, the Bears got their receivers. I highly doubt that they pick up. I don't know. They could pick up Nelson possibly because the Bears do need a bunch of receivers. San Francisco, that wouldn't make sense for them to sign an old man like Jordy Nelson because they just need a number one receiver, and Nelson is not that number one receiver. Let's see who else needs receivers right now. The Jaguars re-signed Marquise Lee, brought in Dante Moncrief. Maybe the Colts need a receiver, possibly, but there's just not really a true market for a guy like Jordy Nelson. So I mean, going to be interesting to see where he picks himself up and just pretty much where he ends up, unless he just says, you know what, I'm just going to retire. So either way, going to be real interesting to see. And like I said, Drew Brees re-signed with the Saints, and I don't know, like kind of a weird deal. I guess there was an ESPN article saying that there was a team offering him $60 million guaranteed. If I'm Drew Brees, why aren't you taking that? All right, if that's true. Why not? All right, with the Saints, I mean, it's essentially just a one-year deal worth $25 million. It's up to them if they want to pick up the second option, not Drew Brees. And it was being talked about how Drew Brees pretty much wanted a 3-year deal, and essentially he only gets the 1-year deal, like I said. So maybe, I don't know, maybe Brees is like, y'all play for them. I'm just thinking he's going to play for this one more year and then going to retire after that. But who knows? I mean, it's just going to be interesting to see what happens with the Saints. I mean, they should be Super Bowl contenders this year. All right, you got monster running backs and Kamara and Ingram. You got Michael Thomas. Probably do need another receiver unless you like Ted getting that much. You need a tight end too. All right, and you got to fix up some little holes on the defense. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all ends up as free agency progresses until we get to the draft. So that's actually going to wrap it up for today's show. Today we talked about the weekend recap. We talked NBA. We talked quarterbacks moving to different teams. And for this segment, basically talked about the NFC North a little bit. And we talked about Drew Brees. But that's going to be it. Thanks for listening to the GSMC Sports Podcast. As always, I am your host, Jesse Tapia. We'll be back tomorrow, all right? Free agency's going crazy. There's still a whole bunch we haven't even covered. Didn't even talk about Sammy Watkins going to the Chiefs. Barely mentioned Dolphins getting Albert Wilson and Danny Amendola. Not really sure what their plan is there. So we got a whole bunch left we got to talk about. So it's going to be spread out throughout the week. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow. So we'll talk to you later.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.